Good morning, welcome back to Casa TexPina. We're on build day number 114. It's Tuesday morning, it's muggy and overcast. Expecting rain throughout the day, so we'll see if Mother Nature plays along and lets us build construction today. First things I've noticed going on, just walking through the site, we're continuing with the wall cladding on the side. There were some questions about doing the cornering. They're not doing cornering on it. What they're doing is cutting each edge to match so that the two pieces match on the edge of the corners, and then they'll come back and Skimcoat it and then paint it to match all together. So it'll all be connected that way. No actual corner pieces over the top. Still continuing with the stone wall cladding as well. He only did it about halfway up. The engineer told him to go ahead and move on to the next piece, which is over by the dining room, and they want to see how it's gonna look, just to get a better visualization of it. Also, right now, what they're working on is they're putting the concrete hollow blocks underneath the front door to prop it up, and they're going to start putting in the concrete or the mortar mix on the sides to hold the rebars in place. So it's going to start securing that door into location, that door frame. Welders are here as well. They're going to continue working on the roof line. They do have one other gentleman that is doing nothing but painting, so he's painting the purlins and the trusses, all the weld joints. The whole thing's getting a whole new paint job, protected a little bit from the rain and the weather, so no rusting, hopefully. Haven't seen any more plaster coating just yet, but as always, that's expected to continue. We do have electricians on site as well, so they're continuing roughing electrical conduit throughout the house. So as I'll start moving you guys around and show you what all's going on. Let's get started. Alright, let's go in and start looking around and see what people are working on this morning. Like I said, first things off, they are continuing to do wall cladding, both the stone clad and the fiber cement board. Mr. Allen's over here working on the fiber cement board. Like I said, I did talk to them about doing the cornering that they were talking about. Some of the guys were commenting on in the comments. He said they don't do that. What they've been doing is they cut it to match. You notice there's very little gap here. They'll secure the bottoms and then go ahead and finish off with boss stick, they call it, or a Skimcoat. And then once the Skimcoat's done, they'll go ahead and finish it the rest of the way around, paint and whatever. Moving on, the wall, the stone cladding is getting started on the other side of the door. So starting over here, Mr. Anjo has already put in his bottom brace there where he's going to level from. So that's all level, and he'll work his way up from that. Here in the front, Mr. Carlito has already placed the hollow block supports underneath the door frame on both sides, and they will secure the rest of this. He's getting ready. He's putting the small pieces of plywood in to be the backing for the sides here. He's going to push a lot of mortar and concrete from the other side. They will connect all of these rebars together so that they all interlock before putting the concrete in here. So I'll catch this as it's in action here in a little bit. Other than that, we got a little bit of welding going on, different locations. They are still working up on the truss line, the hip roof here in the front above the porch. In the back, in the guest room area, we have a couple of gentlemen that are cleaning out the debris piles. So they're getting this ready to where they can come back in here and start compacting, put in the aggregate that they need, and get it ready for pouring concrete. So what they're doing here, they're doing the connections for these for the rebar. They're actually welding them all together. So this is what Mr. Donde, our welding foreman, is working on. This is, according to them, this is the standard practice here. So they put the rebar on the wall coming out. They've got rebar coming out from the door frame itself, and they weld it all together. So this the door frame is not going to go anywhere, and then they just cover it all up with a lot of thick mortar and a little bit of cement. Okay, here on the large picture window on the outside of it, the foreman has started getting prepped for where they'll place the window molding, same like they did over on this side. This is the prior setup. So they measure out a certain distance. This is the width of the molding itself, and then they do a crisscross pattern with concrete nails and baling wire. This gives the mortar on the back side something to hook into, and they've also got on the backs of these, I'm going to show you over here, on the backs of these window moldings, they've also got wires already formed in. So let's take a look at one of these broken pieces. Okay, so you got these pieces here, and they will pull these out, put a whole bunch of mortar on the back of this, and mesh it up with those wires over there. So what it does is it helps it all hold together, and it all maintains onto the same onto the wall. Okay, so they're still working on the front door, as you can see through the window. Go over here and take a look. So they're still prepping on it, making sure to get the pieces all connected together, putting rebar in between, and then they're gonna be welding it, tack welding it in spot, make sure that it's staying put. Okay, all right, let's walk around a little bit. Mid-morning, see where everybody's working at. Mr. Chucks is continuing rough in for electrical outlets and conduit here in the garage bedroom. Also working on forms for the fence post next to the garage door opening. So this will be for the garage gate, sliding gate here. So they got both sides formed up, ready for concrete. They pulled off the forms off of the beam, the garage door beam. Looks nice on top. The trusses are attached to a sill plate, which the sill plate is embedded in the concrete. So the truss is not in concrete. Those look good. They'll start plaster coating that now. That's what Mr. Ben here is getting ready to do. He's going to start plaster coating the rest of this wall. Our guys are putting in some of the window molding, coming around. So see if he gets it cut down to size. And he's got the back filled in with mortar, and then they hold it on with clamps. They're using the rebar for the clamps. They'll get this leveled out, come back in, fill in the extra, so it's all nice and tight. And he's getting ready to saw cut the next one to the right size. Okay, the air conditioning guys showed back up today. They're going to continue doing the copper drain line, or the copper lines for the air conditioning units, for the split units throughout the house. So they're at a point now to where they're not worried about the lines, the copper tubing being hit with some of the welding splatter. So they're starting to put all those in. Okay, so the door, the front door is still being worked on. We have the base done with hollow blocks and mortar. They welded the rebar together along the sides and are placing mortar throughout the rest of it to fill in the hole, fill in the gap. And they're doing this on both sides. As you can see here, all this metal is welded together, so that's going to keep it from moving, keep the door frame from moving anywhere. Mr. Anjo is working the tile, the stone cladding here on the front. A little bit of tile adhesive at a time whenever he's ready for it. That's looking good. Okay. Coming back around. So we're still working on the roof line for the purlins and the roof line for the front porch. Looks like they're getting ready to start measuring the distances that they need for the Cenepa or the fascias that they're putting around the front. Copper tubing. We've got padded foam insulation. We got flex conduit for the electrical wiring for it, and they're putting all those together into a long wrap. So they're basically hand bending the copper tubing, getting it to size, getting it to the right shapes. Then they got caps on the ends. They'll put both of those in the foam insulation. Once that foam insulation is put together, they'll run the electrical conduit alongside it and wrap it all together. So we're getting the pieces all put together. We got electrical wire inside along with the two copper tubes that are wrapped in foam insulation, and then the flex pipe, the flex conduit. Now they're going to wrap all this together. Strip some of this back when they get ready to come back and do the actual install of the units. So, starting from the breakfast nook area, they placed the first one for the copper tubing lines. It runs through the section, up the wall to the hole, goes through the hole, and they're routing it through the dirty kitchen area out to where the condensation, the condenser is going to be on the outside. So that's where the condensing unit is going to be. They'll get it all bent into place. And then it'll stay like this until it's ready to connect to the actual unit. When those units get in. Got that piece of pipe bent to the size and the shape that we need for here, and he's going to push this in. bit of gentle persuasion, light adjustment, push it into place. Alright, so we're putting fill material back in, getting ready to start tamping it down, same as they're doing over here. They're still cleaning some of this out, getting getting some of the rebar pulled back up to where they can put it in place. Still working on Mr. Ben finished the hollow block around the top of the door frame for the half bath in the media room. So that'll sit and dry. That's why he moved downstairs to do the plaster coating. And Mr. Marvin and Mr. Alex are working to do the forms for the bond beams, top bond beams. Door frame's coming along, getting a little bit more mortar stuck in, covering up all the rebar. Working on both sides, getting it flush. Alright, gonna take a walk around post lunch. Looks like when we got back, the air conditioning guys had left for the day. They will be back tomorrow. So far what they did here this afternoon was just the 3 here on the bottom. They started with the one over here in the master's room. I don't know if you can see it through all of this. Okay, right there. They put all this in. So the pipes, these are the copper tubing pipes that are going to connect the actual split unit on the inside to the condensing unit on the outside. Now they've done that in 3 locations. One here in the bedroom and 2 out here in the living room with the long run, and the one here from the breakfast nook. Both of these exit out here on the outside walls. Now what these are going to do is once they get in, they're going to put in the condensing units here. There's going to be a 3rd one over here that's going to connect back to the one here in the dirty kitchen. On this wall here, they're going to connect 2 more condensing units for the upstairs units, and they'll work on those tomorrow. I thought they were going to get to them today, but I think they ran out of materials while we were out for lunch, and when we got back they were already gone. So the engineer's brother-in-law stopped by earlier today, just before lunch, and brought more of the fiber cement boards of a different variety. These ones are the wide panels that the carpenter, Mr. Allen here, is putting in now. These are going to be the fascia boards. So he brought in several of those for us to look at. They're already starting to install, and they're going to work their way around the building. Okay, continuing on around the front, Mr. Anjo over here is continuing to work the stone wall cladding. So we're getting that coming along. I think this is going to have a good look from across the street. It'll look a lot better. They said when it's done, they've actually got a kind of like a varnish coat or something that goes over the top of it, a finish coat that'll actually make it kind of, it'll brighten it up, make the colors really good, and it seals it for about a year. I said once a year you got to go reseal it, and it'll help keep it shiny, new, and purty. Purdy, as we say down south. Purdy. P-U-R-D-Y. Purdy. Alright, so the other things we're working on here. The welders here are working on putting up some more of those fascias or cenepas. And they're working on, and you notice they've got their other helper over here, the other welder guy, is working his way around the building doing painting. So he's painting all of the pieces, trusses, purlins, chairs, anything that was metal on the roof, he's painting it. make sure that we don't have any rust spots. Do a real quick walk around this afternoon just before closing up. Still working on forms for the fence posts. These here, this gate post and these two gate posts, this one and this one on either side of the garage got poured this afternoon, so they'll be ready to pull off forms tomorrow. Okay, they're also been plaster coating the side of the garage now that they've got the beams done at the top, so they're still working on this today. Inside of bedroom 2, the lavatory and the walk-in closet both got their floors poured today. Take a look around from the other corner. So this is inside of the walk-in closet and inside of the lavatory for bedroom number 2. Tomorrow they're going to work on bedroom 3's lavatory and also the bathroom floor as well. Now the lavatory and walk-in closet as well as lavatory number for bedroom 3 are all going to be on the same level as the rest of the floor. The bathroom area where the restroom, where the toilet and shower are going to have a 2-inch drop, same as it was over there on the other side of the house in the master suite, just to be able to catch all of the water in the event that we have a broken pipe in these areas. Okay, up here on the front of the house, we've got a lot going on. Hop back on the other side of the fence. Okay, so we've gotten a lot of wall cladding done this today. Mr. Jojo here has been fairly busy. We got this whole side put on. We are also working quite a bit on the hip roof above the front entrance, the front porch, starting to really come together. And they're also putting on the fascia board around, so you can really start to see the layout of how the roof line is going to be. I'll show you all this some more on a drone shot tomorrow. I didn't get around to doing the drone today, sorry, my apologies. Yeah, I'll get to it tomorrow. So that's what we're looking at for the front of the building. Here on the side, our welders are still working the supports for the hidden gutter system. So all up underneath the eaves here are the hidden gutter supports, and they're working those through. Mr. Joseph is steadily working those all the way around. On this side of the house, we had a discussion with the engineer yesterday. I believe we are looking at splitting our septic tanks, so we're going to have a 2 septic tank system. This one, because of such the long run that it would be to go from this side of the house all the way over to the guest side of the house where the garage is, it's such a long run, we may lose a lot of material along the way and eventually back these pipes up. So what his suggestion was that we'll go ahead and split the septic tanks. We'll have a smaller septic tank over here, and it'll go out into the, after it goes through the 3-chamber system, then empty out. That way we're only taking care of this side, don't have to worry about a clog up, and then we'll have the other septic tank will take care of the rest of the house, everything on this side of the kitchen. So from the kitchen this way over is going to go to the main septic tank. All right. Also back here on the back side of the house, our foreman has been busy all day putting up the window molding here around the large picture window. Coming along nicely. I believe tomorrow he's going to work on the top half. So we shall see what tomorrow brings. All right, guys, it's past Yabba Dabba Doo time. We got busy talking with the engineer about some of the old settings and places here around Pampanga. We'll have to fill you in on those another time. Today we had quite a few different things going on. We had the AC guys stop by rather unexpectedly, but they did get a couple of rough ends done for the copper tubing that they were waiting on. So we got 3 of those done. They'll be back again tomorrow to continue those. So that's something to look forward to for build day number 115. And stone cladding got done for the dining room area, at least up to halfway. The engineer did direct Anjo to move over and start working on the bedroom 3 wall facade so that we can go ahead and see how that's going to look. You kind of get them all 3 going up at the same time, same level. It'll be a good look. I mentioned out and pointed out earlier, we did get the fascia board start putting it into place, so we're really starting to see how this roof line is going to look. Getting kind of excited. He's talking about possibly sometime next week getting a couple of sheets of the actual material up for the roofing so that we can see what that's going to look like. So we'll take a look at that. The welders have been busy working their way around, starting from the back by the master bedroom and working their way around the master suite, putting in the hidden gutter support brackets. So they've been working on those. Other thing you did see today was they put in the door frame. Well, they put the door frame in yesterday. Today they put the mortar in place and welded the rebars together. Vice versa, they welded the rebar together and then put the mortar in place. That's just to get that set in, and they'll keep working that until they get it completed. So they got about 3/4 of the way up the door today. Yeah, that's about it for today. So we'll see you guys back here again tomorrow for build day number 115. Don't have a title for it yet, but we'll think of something tomorrow. So if y'all like today's video, please give us a big thumbs up. If you'd like to see more of these videos, hit the Casa TexPina star right over here, or the bell icon just below the view screen. You'll be notified of our next video upload for your viewing pleasure. So until we see you again tomorrow, at same bat time, same bat channel, have a great afternoon and God bless. Thank you for watching. If you liked today's video, please hit like, subscribe, and hit the little bell icon to be notified when our next video becomes available.